for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, very good. Approval of minutes from the previous meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pull the same sign. Motion carried. Approval of the bills with the additional bills next to that motion. Any questions? I move to approve the bills as submitted. Okay. Motion by Jeff, second by Lucas. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call please, Candy.
Brown,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Frith,
Aye.
Wakefield,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye. Motion carries. Financial report. Anything interesting, Candy?
No. Nobody's really here to spend money, so.
That's a good deal.
The big thing how that works.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
gonna have to buy groceries anyway.
no. So it's, just our main monthly bills and, yeah, that should be good.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the financials?
Move to approve.
Okay, motion from Lucas and sounded like Ed was giving us a second, so we'll take that.
Second. Yeah.
Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hold the same sign. Motion carries. Treasurer's checks.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second from Ed and Mark here. Further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Hold the same sign. Motion carries. Agenda, anything to add?
Move to approve it.
Second. Okay, motion and a second from Commissioner Brown, and Commissioner Frith. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hold the same sign. Motion carries and the agenda is approved. Let's see, Sarah is not on the call yet, so we will move to Crystal. You can unmute.
The only thing I had was the temporary telecommuting agreement and policy. And if everybody's had a chance to review it. If there's any comments or thoughts or questions.
Yeah, I can give a little background too, Crystal. Crystal brought this forward to me that this is something that the state is using. They're using temporary telecommuting agreements. We thought we should have at least a policy in place, and call it temporary, because obviously we don't know how long it's gonna go on for. So, she put this together and sent it to me. It looked good to me. She ran it through the department heads, and all the department heads had a chance for feedback, and everyone said it looked good. So, just so we can have something written, so we have our bases covered for the people that are working from home, basically, is the thought behind it. So I move to approve it. Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Okay. Oh, sorry, didn't hear you, Jeff. Further discussion on the policy and
Just one question then, county commission have the authority to implement this then, when they need to do that? Did you hear that?
That would be a question for Crystal more than me, I would think.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, so you're asking if the commissioners, when they want to implement it?
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, we do have some that are telecommuting at this point. How a department head decides that their employee is able to telecommute, they would run through the agreement with the employee and get everything set up for that employee to telecommute. But if the commissioner, of course, wanted to implement it, they could.
Does that say that in here?
It does have the upper management.
It doesn't say that in this agreement, that the commission will put this in place when need be.
It doesn't have that the commissioners will put it in place, but the department head. But however, in the agreement part of it, it just states at any time, that management retains the right to modify the agreement on a temporary or permanent basis for any reason at any time.
Well, I read it over and I can't see anywhere in here that says the county commission will implement this policy when needed. Don't you think we should have something like that in there legally?
Yeah, I tend to agree, I think we could make an amendment to it and make it read that the department heads are making the decision on their department for each employee, but the county commission is the one that has to approve the overall use of it.
To put it in place?
Yeah, we would make the motion like we did at the last meeting to put it in place, and then the department heads would have the authority to determine which people in their departments can work telecommuting, but we would have to, they can't, without asking us for that.
Yes, I would think that should be in here. But it's gonna be
I
in
think
here,
that's reasonable.
gonna be in here for a long time, so we should have it saying that the county commission will put this in place when needed. When they see fit, I guess, or however you wanna word it, before that's carried, I imagine how to word it.
Okay.
So we can actually.
That's the only objection I have.
Oh, go ahead.
I think that's the only objection I have, Adam, is just that I think the county commission, should have the first initial by putting it in place when they feel fit. They know when it should be used, I guess.
Okay, would you like to just approve it with that amendment in place, or would you like to see the words before we approve it?
Oh, I think we can approve it with the amendment put in place, yeah.
Okay, is that okay with the maker and the second? That's fine by me.
Yep.
That's fine by me.
Yep.
Okay, then we'll have Crystal make the change, and then I'll double check on, make sure it reads. If she can send it to me when it's done, I'll double check it, but.
Okay,
Okay. Okay, you have something, Crystal?
No, I just thought, okay.
Okay. Okay, all in favor of the, motion, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, very good. Okay, thank you, Crystal. Let's see here. I'm just kidding, I got texted back there, she's trying to get into the meeting and the number isn't working apparently.
Steve is.
What's the number, Steve, so I can text it to her? Do you have the number on hand?
I think they said Steve's on the phone with her.
Okay, very good. Yeah, she did text me, so good, he's talking to her. Okay. Okay, then we'll go to Kevin then. Oh, there you go. Yep, you're unmuted now.
Okay, can you hear me now? All right, morning everyone. Get started off the discussion on the load pass. I don't know if I missed something or if what, if we, can't remember if we made the motion to go ahead and accept that or not. I can't find it in the minutes, but I thought we had. So I don't know if somebody else remembers doing that or not.
I don't think we ever did.
Okay then, I guess if everybody's in favor of that, we'll probably need a motion to go ahead and go along with the load pass.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve going with full pass. Further discussion?
I think a lot of the townships are in favor of it. That's what I'm seeing is the majority of the townships like the idea. So it's good for them too.
We signed a boilerplate agreement with load pass on how the dollars are gonna be split out when there's a usage or?
We haven't signed anything yet. That is part of the agreement. They wanted us to make sure all the townships were on board or had their paperwork in order before we signed ours. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I understand, yeah, that's the only, I think load pass looks like a good system. My only, concern is that I've heard of how it's been implemented in some other counties and it hasn't been, it's been disproportionate where the county's keeping more proceeds and the township should maybe be getting a little bit more of the money when that road portion is being used. So we just have to double check the agreement whenever it comes and make sure that it's fair to everybody involved and the townships are getting a square deal too. But other than that, I think the software and everything is gonna make life better for us.
Right, and all that money does come to the county, and then it's up to the county to disperse it to the townships.
Yeah, I assumed that's what it was in the township that the township officer I was talking with, and the county there from, they just decided they weren't gonna give as much back as they propositioned that we can make that decision at our level, so that's what I assumed it was.
Right.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
Dan, we have some summer maintenance contracts coming in. I don't have the list in front of me for this time, but we need a motion to sign those, summer maintenance contracts for the chairman and the auditor.
Move to approve.
Second.
I'll second that. Okay. Motion from Commissioner Brown, second from Commissioner Britt. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And same thing with the low pass agreements, there is two different options there where the township has the option to be notified for every single permit or to be notified just if it goes over 150,000. And if it stays at 150,000 pounds, and if it stays under that 150,000 pounds, then the highway department just automatically gives them. But they have to check a box of which way they want it to go, so that's pretty good too. So we gotta have a motion to sign those agreements.
Okay. Do we have a motion? Move to approve. Second. Motion and a second from Commissioner Britt and Commissioner Wakefield. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And just more of a heads up that one of our John Deere motor graders still had about 300 hours of warranty on it, so we decided to use our buyback option with RDO. We saved about $13,300 by doing that, but we had to send the beef plow back with it. they consider that as part of the trade or part of the buyback agreement. So now we need to replace the leaf plow, and I tried to make a deal with RDO to just keep our old one and buy it back, but they wanted $5,000 for it and it wouldn't come down any lower, so Cat has one just like it for $4,500. Any questions about that?
No,
We need a motion so we got a motion to do that, or?
you need a motion on that?
I need a motion to buy that
So moved.
leaf plow.
Second. Okay, motion from Commissioner Brown, second from Commissioner Britt to buy a V-plow. Further discussion? You haven't paid for it yet, have you?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll have to roll call it to the bill. So all in favor, vote by saying aye.
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 Both same sign. Motion carried.
And the manual transmission went out on one of our semis, and we talked to Tabor and Minto about overhauling it, and they'll charge us $2,300 to fix the one we have, and a remanufactured one is $3,500 from RDO truck sales. So we have taken out the Tabor's already, and it's actually fixed, but I'd still like the motion to go ahead and spend that money, $2,300.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Brown, a second from Commissioner, I don't know if it was Chris or Olson, but well, one or the other. Further discussion.
Is there a warranty on that, Kevin?
I think it's like 30 days or whatever, it's probably not much
Okay.
for remanufacture, on a rebuild like that.
Okay.
One thing about our semis, we don't get a lot of miles on them.
Okay, any further questions? All right, all in favor of the motion, saying aye.
Aye.
Sure, roll call.
Oh,
Roll call?
We already approved paying that in our bills, so.
oh, we did, I'm sorry.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, no.
Well, let's roll call it separately then, Candy.
Wakefield,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Britt,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye. Motion carries.
Just a heads up, I tried to jump on when we were paying the bills and mentioned that some of those would be motions later, but technology, I couldn't talk to you guys, so.
It's okay.
We'll work through it, I get it. Okay, Benson County has sent us a bill for the underwater inspection of that bridge we did south of Church's Ferry, and our share is $9,801.69.
Move to
We're
approve.
going to pay for that.
Move to approve.
You
Second.
made the motion, I don't know who it was.
Commissioner Brown made the motion. Commissioner Olson
Okay,
second.
okay, Commissioner Brown, motion, Commissioner Olson, second. Okay, roll call, please.
Brown,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Wakefield,
Aye.
Britt, did we lose Jeff?
Motion carried, or keep going?
No, not yet. Is that still Candy?
Yeah, but I think we lost Jeff.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh, okay,
I am.
okay. So you're saying aye to the motion?
Yeah.
Okay. And Lightfon.
Aye. Motion carried.
Okay, so just heads up again. Keep going.
Yep, go ahead.
our load limit signs up and we put all the rest of them up too. When the state took theirs off, we didn't have ours up north of US 2. But in discussion with Adam, we thought it was a good idea to put ours up. And talking to just about every other county across the state, they left all theirs on also. All the ones up here northeast did for sure. I don't know what one out west for sure, but in our region, in our area, all the counties left theirs on. That's more of a heads up than anything. I know our promotion said to go out of the state, so just wanted to mention that so you guys were aware of it. And then to review the bids for our gravel projects and chip seal projects. Everybody get that list.
I believe it's in the packet.
On our gravel projects, we'll start with project 9B, Ramsey County 9B. Silver Construction was a low bid for $44,625. So we should entertain a motion to accept their low bid.
Move to approve.
A separate motion.
Yes, please.
I move for the Silver Construction bid for $625.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the low bid from Silvers for our gravel and 9B. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. All same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, then moving on to our Ramsey Benson County Line project. The low bid was from Post Construction for $23,187.50. Now that does include the whole mile down by Tammy Tolson, and in the bid specs we included the first 2 miles, well I guess there's like 2.5 miles south of US 2 depending on the flood conditions, so we may or we may not be doing that, but that's the way the bid spec read also. And then the bid is the total project. So I would entertain a motion to accept Post's low bid.
Move to
I
approve.
make that motion.
Go ahead.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Wakefield. Do we have a second? Second, second from Commissioner Britt. Further discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
Then move down to the chip seal project. More seal coat, who's done our seal coats for the last probably 10 years or so. That's a low bid at $366,408 even. And they do good work for us, so I would entertain a motion to accept that bid.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Britt, second from Commissioner Olson. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
And just a heads up, that's for chip seal on 3 from State 17 all the way south to Old Highway 2.
Kevin, oh, sorry. Well, remind me, how often do we have to do that again? Is it about 5 to 7 years? For chip seal?
Every 6 years.
6 years, okay, thanks.
Okay, moving down to the hot mix overlays, we just had the one bid from Strata, and they have been doing our paper patches for the last few years. So, well, you can see the prices there. I would just entertain a motion to accept their quotes.
Move to approve.
Second. Okay, motion from Commissioner Brown, second from Commissioner Britt. Further discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
one is the road oil. We had two bids. Low bid was from Husky Energy out of Superior, Duluth, Wisconsin, Minnesota area. MC 800 was $611 a ton, and the MC 3000 was $579 a ton. So I entertain a motion to accept their bid.
Kevin, have we used them before?
Yeah, that's what we had last year.
Okay,
They had that big fire last year, but they still were able to supply us
okay.
oil.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Ross, second from Commissioner Olson. To approve the Husky Energy bid. Further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, on to the next.
Any more questions about those projects? We're going to move on. All right, moving down, we did get the pallet forks for our bid order from Butler. So we have to pay for those, it's $8,100. I'd like to have a motion to pay for that. That's also on the list of bills, but
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Second. Okay, motion from Commissioner Brown, second from Commissioner Pritt. To pay for the passport, further discussion. Hearing none, roll call please.
Wakefield,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye. Motion carries.
okay, I got, prices for a compaction wheel that goes on the end of our mini excavator so we can trench pack the trenches of culverts when we're putting them in. It's just, you've probably seen them, it's just those wheels that turn and pack the soil as you move them back and forth. Butler's bid was $5,739. And Ironhide's bid was $6,815. This is for a 36-inch wide compaction wheel. It's a pretty good size one. So I guess I'd entertain a motion to accept Butler's cast low quote.
Move that motion. Second. Okay, motion from Commissioner Pritt with a second from Commissioner Wakefield to accept Butler's low bid. We're not taking for it, so further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, with the stimulus package that the feds are putting together, Brian from local governments was asking all the counties to come up with projects that could be used for funding. There's two different phases and they got really tight deadlines. We have to get Ramsey County 3A submitted within that same day. We submitted our thin lift overlay on Ramsey County 3A, south of Hamden. And then category 2, the deadline was yesterday at noon. Between Paul and myself, we submitted 3 more projects. Was the paving on Ramsey County 4 and paving the truck route. Like, we don't have to do these projects, it's just that they wanted some dollar figures of what these projects would cost. We don't know how much the match is going to be. There's a lot of unknowns, but they wanted to get all these projects submitted so they could figure out what kind of dollars they were dealing with. Now I'm trying to remember what our third one we submitted yesterday was. I can't remember.
I've got a map, Kevin, if you want me to share it.
Yeah, go ahead.
website and drew on the PDF with the short time we had. I figured that was more something. But, yeah, so Kevin mentioned paving up to Camden, and then County 3 South, down between North Dakota 17 and County 8, goes to Webster. I think we'll probably have to mill that, because that has been overlaid in the last 20 years. So we need to replace the wooden bridge on the north end of Ramsey County 4, South 17. To put that in for, potentially that could get done for a bid in the spring of 2021. That was the category 2 was that setup. Then we put, Kevin's other paving truck ground on there. Then we need some more base on top so we can put the ladder crown that the pavement needs, without having to cut into the base one stuff that was done last year. And then, 5 inches of pavement is what we have going north of the second set of tracks. We put 6 on in between the 2 sets of tracks last year, or 2 years ago. But like Kevin said, don't commit the county to anything. It was just, they were looking for a wish list of projects so it could be done quickly.
So I can try to answer your questions on that. There's not a lot of details on that out there, but we had to hurry to get projects submitted. I think there'll be more information coming up on this later on. I have to share that with you as we get it, but a lot of unknowns at this time.
There's no infrastructure dollars that have passed in any package deal yet. It's if they pass the next stimulus, the thought would be it's gonna be for infrastructure, correct? Right. Okay. Yeah, I think this is, if I had to guess, I'd say this is just a list of projects that could go, that they can give to our legislators, bring to Congress. Okay. Yeah, so when they're putting the package together, they can figure, we've got all these shovel-ready projects, we can get the economy rolling again once this hopefully rolls over. Right. Okay. Well, it's good we have projects and we're prepared, so that's good then. Let's run the queue. Well, that's all I have. Okay. Thanks, Paul. Kevin, you have anything else?
Yeah, one more. I might be hiring a part-time personnel to do our bridges this summer. We got 4 big ones to do this summer, so just a heads up there that I may have one part-time person this summer for a couple months. And then one other thing I just wanted to let you guys know, we were on a conference call with NACO. They talked about the concern that there's going to be a huge property tax increase this budget season because of all the state and federal dollars that will be rolling into the budgets for like sales tax and fuel tax and that kind of stuff. So just kind of a heads up that they're predicting that the property tax is going to be a big increase this year in budgeting. So I have.
Okay. Any questions for Kevin? All right, here it comes. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Steve, I'm guessing Sarah is calling user number 5, so if you can unmute her, and we can go to Sarah. I think you're unmuted, Sarah, if you're there.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, hi. Oh, good. Sorry, I had the wrong access number and Steve helped me out, so, yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, just a little update with extension, just to let you know, our, as per NDSU, our face-to-face meetings are postponed until May 15th. And so we are just finding innovative ways to continue our programming. Bill Otis, our ag agent, wanted to let you know that, his pesticide training and certification classes that were supposed to occur have obviously been postponed. However, producers are covered until June 1st. if you have any questions about the pesticide trainings, you can call Bill. He also wanted to let us know that the newest county rents and values is out, and we do have that on our website. And Bill has sent that out to all of his listservs. As far as programming, like I said, we're finding innovative ways. We're using Zoom and different platforms. We're continuing to plan all of our 4-H events, so hopefully we can have our summer events such as Achievement Days. We're going to try our communication arts program on Zoom, see how that goes. And then we've been successfully having our diabetes prevention program cohort continue via Zoom. So that's been a good way to connect with those people as well. So that's just our little update. Anybody have any questions?
Excuse me. Any questions for Sarah? All right, hearing none, thank you, Sarah, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. On to unfinished business. North Central Housing Authority Board appointments. Did we get any names yet, Candy? I haven't talked with Paula, so.
She sent me an email, but she never forwarded the paperwork to me,
Okay.
so I will
Okay, well,
reach out to her again on that.
okay. Well, we can table it, I guess, until next meeting. Forward double lift, did you have anybody yet there?
Nope, nothing there.
Okay. I guess then I would entertain a motion that we table those again until next meeting. So moved. Okay, motion for Commissioner Wakefield, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second, Commissioner Brown, further discussion? Excuse me. Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries, I believe. Was there anybody asking a question before we voted? I have some feedback, so. Okay, on to new business. Homestead credit.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Commissioner Rouse, second from Commissioner Olson. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Both same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the resolution for the June primary election. We can have Candy give us a little bit of information on that.
Several hours of conference calls with all 53 auditors to figure out how to move forward with the June election because of the COVID-19. We took upon the governor's executive order, and he recommended for us to have election for June as strictly vote by mail with no polling places open. We have figured out a drop box for people to drop off ballots, which will be in the breezeway. And I believe we have to have that done by next week.
When do they get sent out, Candy?
Applications will go out 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yep. And the state is putting that bill.
Okay. Any questions for Candy?
Just one other question, most of the other counties are doing this?
Every single county, everyone. Yep. And I know they're making, some that have like the reservations and stuff like that, they're making arrangements.
Pick them up there.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on Candy's comments, I sat in on a meeting with, the association of counties that they have for all the commissioners, and yeah, pretty much every county is gonna be doing this. And good thing with Candy, we're in obviously pretty good shape. We voted by mail for so long that it's old hat for us. We have all the infrastructure in place. There's 20 counties in the state still that till now didn't have vote by mail. So they're kind of not scrambling necessarily, but it's gonna be new to them. So, it should work pretty much seamlessly for us. But we would need a motion before going to completely vote by mail and approving this resolution.
So moved.
Okay. Motion and a second. Commissioner Frith with the motion, Commissioner Wakefield with the second. Further discussion. Being this is a piece of change, give time for people to talk about it moving. Right, hearing no one, all in favor of the motion, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries and the resolution is enacted. Very good, thank you. Visitors and delegations, we don't have anybody on here that is not an employee or a commissioner, so, other than Paul. So, no visitors and delegations. Portfolios. I guess we can start with Commissioner Brown in the room there.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
Just that I heard last week that, the inspectors from the DOC from Bismarck are coming up next week. I heard they were still on the agenda to come, so let you know that. And, social service, maybe Adam knows something about that. But I just see the indirect costs we have here on the table, they're quite a few more than what we've had in the past, I guess, so. Maybe he's got some insight on that, so. That's all I have.
Okay. You have anything?
Oh, was it me? Everything that I know is probably already out in the public. The fish cleaning stations and the landings are all closed as of right now. The sheriff's department is looking at hiring a new deputy here very, very soon. I think he's got several applicants, if I'm not mistaken. And then I just wanted to piggyback off of Ed, the LAC is still holding 52 or 54 inmates. It has not slid down to where any of us thought it would, so that's been doing better than we thought it would. Other than that, the rest of the world knows everything, so.
Quick question for Ed and yourself. I know that all this craziness is probably put, timelines askew, but has anything been done on joint powers or anything yet that you know of?
They've got a committee set up and, they've met once for sure, and they were reviewing McKinsey counties and Stark counties. But they looked at Stark counties and theirs hadn't been redone for 50 or 60 years. So, they're about as far behind as we are, so, but McKinsey County has one, I haven't read it yet, but, they've got one that's been wrote in the last 3-4 years, I think, so it sounds pretty good according to Rob, so. That,
Okay, just kind of curious if they started, so it's good to hear they have.
yeah, we'll probably have a look at it next week at that meeting, I suppose, and then I'll get some copies to you guys and drop off with Candy so she can put it in the packet or something so everybody can review what we're looking at, I guess, so. But from what Rob said, McKinsey's county was pretty good, I guess, so. Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Okay,
Sarah, you know, and if your office is closed, as with the two county employees, Cindy and Lauren, up there are also working from home and telecommuting. City's attorney kind of doing the same with their employees when possible. Kirk is also working from remotely and looking to maybe do some more teleconference, video conference type of situations for that aspect of her job. Other than that, yeah, there's a lot going on in the world. I think maybe we should have a discussion maybe later on if we, you know, we did put on a 35-day closure of events and meetings within the county, if that's something that we want to revisit later on, and when we hopefully can get back to business kind of thing.
Okay. I guess it's something that Commissioner Wakefield will let you do your portfolio first, yeah?
Sure. The only thing that I have is that initially the library decided to close for 2 weeks. That was up this past Monday. So I had a conversation with the director, and he thought that it made sense to extend that, and I agreed. And so right now we're doing a rolling 2-week closure, so the library should be closed for at least another 2 weeks. We'll see how things go, but that's really the only update that I have in terms of my portfolio.
Okay, very good. I just want to give a quick update on mine. We've been busy on conference calls and, you know, visiting with people. Social services, I can fill in a little bit. Rhonda's been working hard to as many people working from home as possible. The staff in the building is down quite a bit, but all of the essential services are still taking place. They're still doing child welfare checks and all the things that need to be done. They've had a lot of people come in, with the unemployment that's going to be occurring or is already occurring, needing staff benefits, things like that. The staff benefits are being upped, if I remember correctly. She sent me a text on it this morning. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, but the public is getting used to, doing stuff over the phone and dropping things in the Dropbox. So she said the flow of people coming in and out of the building is down to a trickle, maybe 1 or 2 a day that they have somebody that can't do it that way. So they've got that under control, sounds like. BSO is in the packet, obviously. I think Bryce has been seeing kind of the same thing where all of a sudden you have more veterans needing more services because of some of the things that are going on with the COVID-19, so he's been busy. Obviously Candy's been busy. Everybody's, like you said, everyone's busy, but it's been quiet at the same time, being that we have not a lot of action in the courthouse. I sent out an email last Saturday to all the department heads, asking a couple different questions, basically from the concept of, I think we're one of maybe 5 states left that doesn't have a shelter-in-place order. Just asking, department heads who do we still have in the building, who's still working physically in the building, and what are our obstacles to getting you out of the building, just in case we have a plan in place. So if the governor does put a shelter-in-place order in, obviously we're going to want to try to, because we don't know who will deem essential if he does do something like that. So we want to make sure we're still going to be able to operate from home. So they came up with some ideas and some of the obstacles and things like that would be, that are in place. Most small culverts, so, but nothing serious yet, so. But we'll see what happens in the next week or 2 here when it warms up, until winter warms up. Other than that, I don't have anything. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add? Speaking to what Jeff was talking about, the 35 days to our next meeting, you know, certainty of plan, I don't know what, you know, obviously if people want to use the courthouse past that second meeting in April, we're not going to have any plan in place before that second meeting, other than to say I can make a call on if people are going to want to do, you know, if we're going to open back up again before that meeting. But in my mind, it's looking like we're going to be locked down through, you know, mid-May at least. If you look at all the curves and all the projection runs and everything like that, so I think we still have probably at least a month of this, if not more, at least in my mind. Any other comments on that, I guess?
We don't really have much on the calendar as far as meetings or anything. We pretty much, everybody canceled or rescheduled to a later date, so.
Yeah, I don't foresee that being a problem. You know, I think it's going to be, even when all of this gets somewhat back to normal, it's still going to be a trickle, I think. It's not going to be a wave. People are going to kind of slowly start coming back out of their houses and getting back into the group thing, but it's going to take a little while. So it's not going to be an overnight thing. The other thing that just popped in my head while I was speaking is, just so everyone knows, the estimated tax statements have to go out. So those commercial property valuations that we approved last year, the revaluation by Vanguard went out in that mailing. There are quite a few properties on the commercial valuation that went up pretty decently in terms of valuation. They were being undervalued essentially. Beth was kind of in between saying, should we hold off sending them, or should we keep the values down? She decided, and I said, I guess I support your department doing what you think needs to be done. We had approved the valuations, or approved the revaluation through Vanguard that she sent all of them out. So if you have any questions from people, from business owners saying, well, you know, why did the value go up by so much, especially in this time, just remind them that those valuations are just the beginning, nothing is set yet, and we can always pull those back down later, if need be, if we think we have to give, you know, some type of a buffer to move our way up more slowly or something like that. But she decided that she set them out as valued because we made the motion to go forward with doing the revaluation, and that's what the revaluation found. So anybody have any questions on that, I guess? Just figured I'd give you a heads up in case anybody starts to get some calls. So. Okay, further discussion.
I guess I'd like to ask Steve Motter, work with our department heads and making sure that who needs a VPN at home is able to get one, and that is something that we can also bring up with the Association of Counties meeting with the governor's office tomorrow, making sure that if needed and when needed, we can make sure that happens for our staff as well. Because I know there's a few of them that definitely need a VPN in order to operate the things that they have within their offices. And we'd certainly like to make that happen. I know the governor sent 7,500 state employees home, and they gobbled up a lot of VPN IP addresses along the way when they did that. But I think that if we need to move some of our department heads at home and give them that opportunity to do so. And if that request was a VPN, I think that should be made available to them as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, it's just a matter of, in some of the responses I got from the department heads, they said, some of the stuff that they have to do has to be done in office, obviously, that's the first key. But a lot of it can be moved remotely, but they had some of those, technological questions, like the state's attorney, Carrie said, she could probably keep most of her work from home, but she still needs to access the court system and things like that, and I suppose there's, that's the things there that, she has to be in office to do. I don't know if she needs a VPN or whatever. I'm not a technologically savvy person when it comes to that kind of stuff, but we just need to have, those plans in place because, it's gonna be, like I said, I think it's gonna be at least another month to 6 weeks of this. Well, who knows what's going to occur in between now and then. So, just so we can, like I said, if we can work with Steve, and I'll visit with Steve too separately and see, what we need to get our ducks in a row. Have we had problems getting those if we need them? Or has it been just, we haven't looked into it yet? I honestly don't know where we're at on it, so I need to have those discussions. Okay? Anybody else?
Just one other question, Adam. I just picked up the Veteran Service Officer's letter here. I don't know if Candy knows or not, but does he have access to, letting people or informing people? Have you heard from him, or how's he doing? How's he operating? Is he coming in, or?
He's been here.
Been here, okay.
Yep, and he's been, by appointment letting people in.
Okay, so it's been working on it.
Yep.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, I can, go ahead. Yeah.
No, that's all I got, Adam.
I was just gonna, I got an email back on the thing I had sent out too. I can give you a little bit of, information on it, just a second, I'm pulling it up here. Yeah, he said he's physically working in his office. For the most part, he could work from home. He has to, have computer capable of accessing the Veterans County Service Officers Program, which is his database and main info program for all the forms. He said one of the problems they're running into is you have to get signatures on the documents when you put them in. So he said a lot of them, once the client has a signature on file, he can store those digitally, and then with the verbal, he can use the digital signature to re-sign something to send it in for him. But until he has that physical signature, he has to be able to still see people. But he could cut down his hours or work from home more if he could. But right now, he's saying he's down to basically 1 or 2 veterans a day coming in probably. And then some are dropping off documents outside the door, he picks them up type of thing. So his numbers are dropping substantially, and he said, but he's still doing a lot of, physically people coming in and dropping, but he's still doing plenty of work because he's seeing, people need help, obviously, so. Okay, further discussion on any of this? Okay, hearing nothing, any announcements? There shouldn't be much to do, so we're all sitting at home. Is anybody, I talked with Jeff last night, and Ed and Mark were both at the meet at the commissioner's room, so they can sign the documents. Lucas, you're not gonna have any problem getting in to sign yours, correct? You'll be okay getting over to the courthouse to sign everything?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, now I'm gonna stop in tomorrow